Speaking is something everyone can do. So why has dubbing become one of the hardest industries to survive in? Years ago, the Mandarin dubbing for SpongeBob and Jackie Chan adventures was so exceptional that I once thought they were domestic Chinese animations. The voices of the main characters remain huge favorites for dubbing enthusiasts to imitate even today. But at some point along the way, the dubbing in most new releases has become bland, neither fitting the characters nor showing any personality. Logically, since we all know how to speak, dubbing shouldn't have such a high barrier to entry. This has led many students and stay-at-home moms with zero experience to try and make a living through voice acting. But in reality, the dubbing industry has become increasingly prone to backlash in recent years. Good work goes unnoticed while poor work draws instant criticism. Is the path of a voice actor truly out of reach for the average person? Hello everyone, I'm Kanchai. Today we're putting dubbing in the spotlight. Take this single line of dialogue in a recording studio. Many think dubbing is simply reading these words aloud. But on a real set, the voice actor wears monitors, watching the same clip looping on the screen, studying the actor's face or the character's expression, scrubbing through it frame by frame. When the character cries, laughs or sighs, the voice must rise and fall in sync. As the character's mouth opens and closes, every syllable must match the lip movements perfectly. Simply put, it's about performing the scene all over again. Without a camera, you can't improvise or change the intent of the lines. Yet, you must breathe life into the character, making the audience believe it's the character themselves speaking. For example, in Zootopia, Nick Wilde says it's called outsmarting them, baby. Shang Tsung first has to visualize the micro-expressions of this smug fox, then adjust his pacing to align the Chinese lines with Nick's head tilting animation, ensuring they are perfectly synced with the margin of error, kept within tenths of a second. Otherwise, the audience will find the experience noticeably jarring. Breathing techniques also require practice. It's entirely different from normal speech. For instance, professional voice actors will slightly part their lips between sentences to avoid lip smacks. In a studio, the slightest noise can be amplified by a condenser microphone, ruining the take. Whereas in normal conversation, these details go completely unnoticed. Think about when you send voice messages. Isn't it frustrating to have to restart just because of one slip up? For voice actors, the standards are even higher to maintain emotional consistency. A single mistake means re-recording the entire segment. Dubbing for foreign films is even more grueling, as you must match the foreign actors' lip movements, their emotions, and even their subtle habits. For instance, when the legendary Tong Zhairong dubbed Zorro, he even replicated the trills of a Spanish accent within his Chinese delivery. Thus, dubbing is a true art of language. It's not something just anyone can do simply by speaking. To succeed in this career, you need both industry recognition and market appeal. Now, let's take a look at these two clips.
Squidward, you love music, don't you? And this will surely be your happiest memory.
I want to take on 10. Don't do this. I want to fight 10.
After watching these two clips, isn't it hard to believe these two characters share the same voice? In reality, both SpongeBob and IP Man were dubbed by Chen Hao. Doesn't it feel like there is a massive polarization in the skill levels of voice actors? The top tier ones are absolute monsters, while the weak ones make you think, hey, I could do that too. As a result, in high-budget domestic film and television productions, it seems like the same few voices are constantly on loop. Take Ji Guanlin's strong female leads, or Kyle Shiu's innocent sweetheart. And then there's AG Bianjiang and Jiang Guangtao voicing various overbearing CEOs or venerable masters. This is the pyramid effect. Just like with live-action actors, big-budget productions, top-tier voice actors who have both fame and consistent skill. To put it simply, they prefer playing it safe with seasoned pros who have solid reputations and established fan bases. For instance, the core members of 729, Sound Factory, and Baidu Penguin practically dominate the dubbing for Bilibili and Tencent Video's top 10 Donghua titles. Furthermore, because top-tier actors are so experienced, they require very little rework. A single veteran can voice multiple roles, which also serves as a marketing highlight. From the producer's perspective, this offers much better cost-effectiveness. They might be expensive, but it's not like they can't afford them. Novices, on the other hand, are mostly stuck with low-budget productions that get little attention, making it harder to break out, get noticed, and eventually become a star. The reality is there just aren't that many openings in the industry. You might find it hard to believe, but over 100 people in China call themselves voice actors. A single dubbing competition can draw 70 applicants. Yeah, fewer than 50 new animated films are released nationwide each year. Even fewer actually make it to theaters. Even with the demand from games and audiobooks, the number of roles that can actually provide a living can be counted on one hand. Out of 100 people, fewer than 30 can secure steady paid work in the long run. To put it bluntly, labeling yourself a voice actor is easy, but making a living from it is the real challenge. A couple of years ago, many master dubbing classes suddenly popped up online. They claim that after a few lessons you can earn money just by talking from the comfort of your home. They've tricked many students and stay-at-home moms into paying for enrollment. But as a former industry insider, I have to be honest with you. The vast majority of these dubbing courses are just scams. Just just how hard is it for newcomers to get started. Audiobooks, short video, minor game, NPCs, even for a tiny role, hundreds of people are fighting to audition. The pay is even more disheartening for top real-life celebrities. The 2.8 million yuan a day meme has been around for years. Yet for an A-list voice actor dubbing a 20-minute episode, making over 30 yuan is considered a huge stroke of luck. But 90 of average actors only make 500 to 10 yuan per episode, and they often go without work. And predictably, the oversupply of talent in the industry will only get worse, because AI is already coming for their jobs. To reduce costs and improve efficiency, many low to mid-tier projects are now using AI synthesized voices, commercials, game, NPC lines, and audiobooks. AI can generate 100 lines a minute at a cost of just half a yuan. Even my own voice has been cloned by many using AI models, which shows just how dire the employment situation has become. However, top-tier voice actors are safe for the time being. They rely on unique vocal textures and emotional depth, things AI can't replicate yet. As for the future, new business models might emerge. Voice actors could license their voices to AI for royalties, while humans, experienced veterans who focus on demanding roles with top-tier skills and possess highly recognizable voices, will at least be able to make a living. But for newcomers, they not only have to compete against 100 others, but also deal with a cutthroat competition from increasingly lifelike AI. Too many people are flocking to voice acting. The field is so overcrowded there's no room left to stand. As we all know, the term CU originates from Japanese. It first gained popularity in China, primarily driven by the wave of Japanese anime. But did you know the Chinese and Japanese voice acting industries are worlds apart? In Japan, CU can reach superstar idol status. As of 2022, Japan had over 1,600 professional CU, 130 females, and 655 males. The top tier can hold concerts for tens of thousands, release photo books, act in TV dramas, and have autograph lines stretching 3 blocks long. They are no different from top-tier real-life celebrities. Why is that? Because their entertainment industry has a complete ecosystem, including specialized training schools like Aoni Yuku, as well as talent agencies and fan management models. As for income, besides anime and film dubbing, there's music live streaming and advertising royalties. Popular seiyuu can earn over 100 million yen a year, which is several million yuan. Even newcomers get their big break. For example, some Hayao Miyazaki films prefer to cast fresh talent for their roles. Yet, despite being new, many perform in theaters regularly to hone their craft. Their diction is impeccable. In contrast, our voice actors were unsung heroes for a long time, rarely having the chance to step into the spotlight. The 1970s and 80s were the golden age of dubbed films with masters like Qiu Yufei. These masters are legends in the industry, yet the general public can't even name them. It wasn't until after 2010, with the rise of Chinese animation, that studios like VoiceCam, 729, Voice Studio, and Baidu Penguin began to experiment with the Japanese model. They started pushing voice actors into the spotlight, but they are still a long way from true idolization. Where does the gap lie? The revenue model. 90 of Chinese voice actors are paid per episode or per project. Voicing a minor role might only pay 200 yuan, which isn't even enough to cover the round-trip taxi fare. In contrast, Japanese seiyuu rake in profits from music merchandise and tours. Although the Chinese dubbing scene has started holding fan meetings like in Japan, where 400 tickets for a 729 voice studio event at 560 yuan each can sell out in seconds, still pales in comparison to the 10 zero-seat venues of Japanese seiyuu. And to be frank, the Chinese film and TV industry isn't particularly friendly to voice actors, or even respectful enough. This is evident in the Chinese dub of Zootopia 2, which opted for real-life celebrities instead of professional voice actors. Capital prioritizes traffic over professionalism, following the business logic that stars are box office insurance. Simply put, for investors, celebrities provide a sense of security, though more expensive to hire. They bring trending topics, fan-moderated comments say, and ticket sales conversions. It seems like a foolproof deal. But this strategy has major side effects. In 2019, Zhou Dongyu's dubbing for Spirited Away was criticized for sounding as stiff as a Yang Fox Demon in Kung Fu Panda 4, was ridiculed for being immersion-breaking. Fans didn't buy it. After all, don't you still need dubbing for your own acting? How can they have the nerve to snatch the livelihoods of voice actors? But outcry alone isn't enough. As long as this practice remains profitable, capital will not change its mindset. Consequently, many unknown voice actors are pursuing careers to survive, such as live streaming dubbing classes or producing self-owned audiobooks. Well-established major studios are even trying to leverage the fan economy. China's dubbing scene is following Japan's path toward idolization. But there's a long way to go. Ultimately, whether the audience is willing to pay for voice actors is the key to the industry's survival. The Zootopia 2 controversy is essentially the audience speaking up for professionalism. We don't care whose voice it is, we only care if it's the right fit. In this industry, the entry barrier is prohibitively high. The practitioners are humbled to the dust. It's truly lamentable. To create a successful character on screen, it shouldn't just be the on-screen actors who receive the flowers and applause. Those voice actors behind the microphone deserve our appreciation just as much.